I think that yesterday was one of the most depressing birthdays I've ever had.
Are we recording?
Yeah,
okay.
We're rolling now.
What happened?
Oh, no, nothing. I was just at home all day. I literally saw nobody the entire day, but I didn't make any plans or anything.
Yeah, why didn't you invite me over?
Well, I mean, you got a limited amount of time.
It's okay. It's your birthday.
I have a
I'm
birthday
a bros
every
before
year.
hoes kind of guy.
I have a birthday every year. I can have an equally depressing birthday next year.
Yeah, 40's going to be depressing.
What are we going to do?
I'm going to kill myself.
Suicide pact?
Yeah, okay.
Iconoblast, we put the past on blast. Hit 'em with the truth, with things you never knew. Nobody is safe, no thing to place. Got Joel and Coop with history in your face. Iconoblast.
Welcome to the Iconoblast podcast. This is the show that takes a look behind the public facades of famous icons to show you why you can never take anything at face value. My name is Cooper, and sitting to my left today, we're in a new room, is Joel Benner. This is our first episode at the new studio.
Yeah, but no video this time.
No video because we don't have a set yet.
Yeah. We're actually recording on the Citizen set right now, which is Dan Holloway's new show.
Which was initially supposed to be our set, but Dan Holloway takes what he wants.
He has guns and we don't.
Yeah. Well, and also he's technically our boss.
Yep. They're still setting up the studio and they're still building the sets and we're at the bottom of the totem pole, so our set's not ready yet.
We're perpetual bottoms.
Yeah.
Someday we might be power bottoms if we're lucky.
Perpetual power bottoms.
Perpetual power bottoms. That's our band name.
No, our band name's Aquatic Cloaca, and our hit single
is Perpetual
Power Bottoms.
So
I'm
speaking
put on
of
sunglasses because it's weird for me now.
To not have some. You don't have a camera to look at though.
I know, but now I feel weird
No,
looking at you directly in the eyes.
Oh, yeah. No, I've got that very piercing stare. No, I've just got those defeated, tired eyes with 38-year-old man. 30, I think 30.
Somewhere
pretty sure
late 30s.
Late 30-year-old man. But speaking of bands, we're going to be continuing the Mayhem series.
Yes,
today.
Finally.
Well, I guess we're concluding the Mayhem series today.
Yes, I finally finished writing it.
Promised it a little while ago, but you put a shitload of work into this.
Yeah.
Like, it was weeks and weeks of research and writing.
And I got it down to 7 pages.
7 pages?
Which is a lot for us, so I'll be trying not to tangentize the episode.
So again, if you're joining us for the first time and you didn't hear the last Mayhem episode, or if you didn't hear the Holy Grail episode, the rules are Joel wrote the episode, but I have to read it and deliver it as if they are my own words.
Yeah.
And as soon as I start, I have to stay in character for the remainder of the episode.
Yes, and I feel really, really guilty about this one.
See, that does not make me feel very good.
Yeah. But you'll notice we did the first Mayhem, and it was so funny, making fun of you, pretending to be you. So I went harder the first half of the writing on this one. And then I felt bad, took a break, wrote the Holy Grail one, and then it gets less as it goes on. So it's going to hit hard in the beginning and then fade away.
It's going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, at least it's going to get better.
So I'm sorry for that, Coop.
Oh, I don't think you could drag me down any further than I've already drugged myself. So without further ado, here is the story of Count Grichnackh, or Mayhem Part 2.
Yeah.
2 black metal heads, both alike in anarchy, in fair Langus,
yeah.
In fair Langus, where we lay our scene. From Norwegian grudge break to new mutiny, where black metal blood makes black metal hands unclean. You write beautifully. How did you come up with it? I mean, I write beautifully.
Is that Mozart?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Mozart wrote this. From forth the fatal loins of these 2 church burners, a pair of star-crossed Satan worshippers take their life, whose misadventures piteous arpeggios doth with their death bury their bandmates' strife. The fearful passage of their black metal marked love. And the continuance of their bandmates' rage, which, but their friendship end naught could remove, is now the 2 hours traffic of our podcast. The which, if you with unpatient ears annoy, what here shall miss, our toil shall strive to destroy.
Beautiful.
Mayhem, the story of Count Grichnackh.
Beautiful.
So,
and we had a conversation that unpatient wasn't a word.
yeah.
Adjective, unpatient. Comparative, more unpatient. Superlative, most unpatient. Obsolete form of impatient.
Yes, obsolete is the key word there. It's not used
Forsooth,
anymore.
he that is unpatient shall suffer harm.
Now,
And he hath ravished, he shall lay to another thing. Basically, it's how Shakespeare used to write. And
it's how old morons used to write words before we fixed it.
Right, so I had to keep to the old way. I mean, you did.
I mean,
Wait.
I did. I wrote.
I'm blowing the gag myself.
I wrote unpatient.
Yeah.
That might be what stings the most about this episode, is having to take credit for that. Now, Joel, before we start the episode, I just want to say, Joel, you look fucking incredible today. I look up to you as a father figure. I wish I could be you. Not only are you charming, but you're gentle and kind and strong and loving. You could beat me up anytime you want. If you wanted to sleep with me, I would let you. Gee golly gosh, Joel Benner, you really are the best there ever was.
Thanks, Coop.
I want to clarify, you're not making me say this. I am saying this completely of my own regard. I love you.
Thanks, Coop. I love you too.
I just wanted to get that out of the way right at the top of the episode, because it's been
bugging you,
burning inside of me. In the last episode of Mayhem, we focused mainly on Dead, the lead singer of Mayhem. If you've had the joy of listening to it, you would know that Dead was fucked since birth with depression and a longing for death. He was obsessed with Transylvania, vampires, the undead, violence, cutting himself, and the mutilation of animals.
Just like you.
I feel such a connection with this guy. His roommate and bandmate / cult leader, Euronymous, is rumored of egging him on and wanting him to die, knowing his death would help put them on the map as true black metal lords. He wasn't wrong.
It worked.
After Dead died, Euronymous went into full promotion mode. He photographed Dead's body and kept brain and bone fragments, giving them out to friends and other metal bands he felt were worthy. He released their next album with the photo of Dead's splattered brains as the cover, and the band blew up.
Like his brains.
Blew up like he blew his
Like
brains
his
out
head.
with a shotgun. Okay, so it's completely immoral the way that he handled that, and it's fucked up using the picture as the album cover.
Fuck yeah.
I think that Dead probably would have been okay with that. I think
so too.
Dead would have been like, oh yeah, fuck yeah,
Fucking do it. I don't give a shit.
yeah.
He did deliver.
I'll pose my own body before I blow my brains out if it's gonna be
help the band.
badass.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that too. It's just the way. It's the way that Euronymous did it. He was happy about it, and not like we talked about in the last episode. Not going to the funeral, calling the other members of the bands fucking pussies for going. Called him, what was it, sentimental goat fuckers or something? I can't remember.
Sentimental goat fucker.
It was something like that.
That's our second hit single from Aquatic Cloaca.
Yeah, but it's like how he handled it all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still fully convinced that Euronymous was a full-blown sociopath.
Yeah, but and also a lot of rumors were saying that he was telling Dead that he should do it. Like, dude, if you don't want to be here, kill yourself. And you can imagine being teenagers or in your early 20s, like, fuck it, dude, it'd be so metal. Kill yourself. Instead of being like, dude, everything's going to be okay. We're going to become famous fucking black metal members. like trying to help him. He was being like, dude, it's the right thing. You should probably kill yourself.
That's so fucked.
Yeah. That's the part of it that's I mean, it's all pretty fucked.
Yeah.
But black metal's supposed to be sort of fucked. And I think Dead would want to be on the album with his head blown off.
I think that, yeah, that part of it.
But if it was handled a different way, it would still be fucked up.
I mean, it could have been that, Dead could have recovered and turned his life around, started a synth pop band.
Yeah.
But that's not the kind of world that I want to live in.
That's not the world he wanted to live in, obviously.
No. The bassist for Mayhem, Necrobutcher, hated Euronymous for doing this and left the band. Euronymous, the soulless, heartless bastard that he is, quickly found new members to replace Dead and Necrobutcher. And this brings us to the one and only Varg Count Grichnackh Vikernes. Now, I've heard a bunch of different pronunciations of this guy's name, where it's like Varya, Vikernes, and
I think it's Vikernes. That's what. That's what my lady says. She lives closer to Norway than we do.
True. So by the
but he also has different
properties-
spellings of it.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, 'cause I've only seen the one spelling, but I mean that's mainly from his YouTube channel, which is weird, really fucking weird YouTube channel.
Yeah, you can still find some videos that people have reposted from it, but it's really hard to find any of that old stuff.
When did they pull? Do you remember when they
I
pulled
think it
down
was like
his YouTube
2008
channel?
or something.
Was it
I'm
that
not
long
sure.
ago?
2008, 2013, somewhere in that.
Because I could have swore that when I was living in
don't know
Sun
for sure.
Valley that his YouTube channel was still up, because I remember thinking like, oh, holy shit, Varg has a YouTube channel, and it's weird as fuck.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure when they took it down.
I mean, all the videos that I saw, it's like he's dressed like he's going hunting, and he's just out in the forest talking about politics and philosophy.
Yeah.
And it's all like
Sort of racist.
vaguely fascist and racist. Yeah.
We'll dig into that, I'm sure.
Most people in the metal scene know who this man is and his story, but for those of you who don't, here's a quick rundown. I've always wanted to try anal beads on myself.
Okay.
No, I felt like I needed to throw that
You
in
got
there.
Tourette's or something?
No, I'm getting a lot off my chest. That was one of the promises that I made to myself for my birthday, is that I'm just going to be a lot more open and honest about
Everything.
about everything, about my needs, my desires, my boundaries. No boundary around the butthole though.
Yeah.
Wide
apparently.
open.
Have you tried it?
Anal beads?
Yeah.
No, not yet. I'm not that adventurous.
Maybe I'll get those for your next birthday.
Yeah. When I turn 39, that's what I'm going to start. Jamming anal beads in my ass. They're called Benoit balls, aren't they?
You would know.
No, I'm asking for a friend. A young Viking born in Norway in 1973 began shredding at age 14. After a couple brief encounters with different groups, Varg could tell he didn't play well with others. He eventually started Burzum, a solo project where he produced 4 albums back-to-back in the early 90s. Burzum translates in English to darkness. Ooh, Varg, you're so hardcore. Although he never played live shows, his dark ambient solo trash... Is that... I can't remember, was that supposed to be...
Solo trash.
Okay, so it is trash, not thrash.
Yeah.
Although he never played live shows, his dark ambient solo trash spread through the Norwegian black metal scene like herpes did in the 90s in Isla Vista, Santa Barbara, California. Very true. I myself have received a multitude of STDs from Isla Vista, but that would take a whole episode to explain. We briefly touched on it in a previous episode, the very first episode that we had Adam on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we discussed that, but that's just the tip of the itchy,
There was
drippy iceberg.
There was a comment on YouTube, multiple comments now, that you're going to be like the next Ron Burgundy. and then I'm fucking with you.
That's how it's been for the last couple episodes.
Yeah.
These black metal albums got Varg into Mayhem.
Have you listened to them, Burzum albums?
Burzum, I've heard a song here and there, but I've never
It
actually.
really is trash metal, like really, just really bad. But for some reason,
if we can get away with.
I'll put something underneath.
Okay.
I'll play you some of it later. But there's
All right.
one good song that I've listened to a bunch, and there's one album that's actually good for it. You know, sometimes when something's trashy, you like it.
Yeah, American Head Charge.
Exactly. It's something like that. It's so bad, but there's like, you could tell he was really trying. He cared about it. That comes across in some of it.
Yeah, he was like an even edgier Trent Reznor.
Some shit like that, yeah.
Varg and Euronymous started butting heads fairly quickly. It was sort of like two alpha males competing over a female, except the female was black metal. Apparently, the beginning of their family feud began when Euronymous made fun of a shirt Varg was wearing on the first day they met. Varg took it personally and held the grudge ever since. He seems like such a reasonable guy. Yeah. You don't like my Big Johnson shirt, bro? The fuck? Now, before we go any further, I just wanted to tell everyone a quick story about how my morning went. God damn it.
Okay.
I woke from a nightmare, but I was hard. My dream was about puppies jerking me off.
Okay.
I was scared, but I let them have their way with me. Puppies are the only thing that I fear more than spiders. I walked to the bathroom. I was in the nude. I have a long, tall mirror against the wall so I can see my full, gross, naked body. This part is surprisingly accurate for the way that I wake up. God damn. I jerk off in front of the mirror a lot, so there are cum stains all over it. There are not. I clean that mirror on like a weekly basis. As if not, you wouldn't be able to see a reflection.
Okay, well, maybe you're confused.
Yeah, well, this is...
Maybe it's covered in cum and then you clean it?
well, I'm not going to clean it if it's not dirty.
Yeah.
I stared at myself for a long time, my little dick just floating there. Because apparently my dick has anti-gravity technology built into it. Makes me sad to see it so tiny and innocent, even when it's hard. It was at this moment that I had an apostrophe. I just had a sudden punctuation, as if lightning had struck my brain. Anyway, all the money from super chats and sponsors of the Iconoblast podcast, I'm going to save up until I can afford a penis enlarging surgery. Just really had to get that off my chest. I'm glad I got another drink here.
I'm sorry, Coop. It seems like you're going through a lot.
It feels like it.
That was a quote from Hook, though, wasn't it?
An apostrophe? Yeah.
Yeah. That was good.
Wait, didn't...
Yeah, because he's like, I think I had an apostrophe, and then Hook's like, I think you mean an epiphany.
Oh, yeah, that's what Shmee says.
Yeah. That was a nice way you did that, like, roped in like a Hook quote in there.
Yeah, well, that actually is one of my favorite movies. I can't believe that's Steven Spielberg's like biggest embarrassment.
For him, yeah.
For him. And Dustin Hoffman, too. Didn't Dustin Hoffman hate it?
Oh, I don't know. Did he?
I hope not, because that movie was
It's
fucking
the best
amazing.
Hook ever.
Yeah.
It is cheesy, but it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's like the whole
When I saw it as a kid, and it was the best fucking movie ever.
I've watched that movie
If I had kids,
probably
I would
well
make them
over
watch
100 times now.
it. Yeah.
Anyway, Varg was obsessed with history.
Anyway.
He often wore chainmail. He was also obsessed with orc history from the fucking Lord of the Rings books. His band Burzum means darkness in the Orcish language. Okay, I like him a little bit better because Amon Amarth means Mount Doom.
Oh.
And that's named from the Lord of the Rings also. Lord of the Rings was surprisingly popular in a lot of music scenes that were considered heavy, because even Led Zeppelin has songs about Lord of the Rings.
It's because metalheads are dorks.
Yeah. Yeah, metalheads are actually the closest that we have to like classical music composers.
Yeah.
Metal musicians in general. They use more of the same techniques as classical musicians than like any other type of music outside of classical music. Do you guys know the story of the Lord of the Rings? I love the Lord of the Rings so much. My favorite character is Legolas. He's a cute elf and he's great with the bow. I also like Bilbo a lot and Frodo and stuff. It's so fun. Anyway, Frodo is a hobbit who is a little person. He has to go for a long walk with a powerful ring that can destroy you and the world. He has to go on a long walk to throw it away, but he doesn't go alone. His gay friend Sam goes with him and some other guys like Gandalf and Boromir. They call this group of people the Fellowship of the Ring, and they go on so many great adventures together. The movies are better than the books and are my favorite movies. They are even better than Starship.
I'm sorry. Deal's a deal.
Oh, God damn it. It's like the one thing I don't want to say.
Legolas is a cute elf.
I would rather say that than they are even better than Starship Troopers. Oh, that fucking hurt. Yeah, that hurt. You can make fun of me all you want, but don't make fun of Starship Troopers. Okay, back to Varg and Euronymous. What's interesting about everything that follows next, no one knows the truth of why Varg murdered the shit out of Euronymous. I kind of have a feeling I know why. It's because Euronymous was a douchebag.
Yeah.
And Varg was also a douchebag.
Yeah.
It's all speculation and word of mouth and very little evidence, except for all the burnt down churches and the 16 stab wounds in Euronymous' back. So we have the ringleader, Euronymous, running around acting like he's the god of black metal. He plays lead guitar for Mayhem, he runs his own record label, and teenage girls want to fuck him all the time. Varg, 5 years younger, gets taken under Euronymous' wing. Varg is a young, smart, very easily influenced kid, but has strong opinions and is an extremist. When Varg believed in something, he would give it 100%. Euronymous, Cunt Lord of Black Metal. Cunt Lord.
Cunt Lord's pretty good.
Cunt Lord's a good fucking band name, too. Euronymous, Cunt Lord of Black Metal, can see this wonderful opportunity to use Varg's young youth energy juice. That sounds very sexual.
There was rumors that Euronymous was gay.
Yeah, I think we talked about that on the last episode also, is that there were
some tendencies
some
floating around.
Some wiener sucking tendencies. They have a new album coming out soon. How do we promote it? The country had already turned on Mayhem and black metal, calling it satanic and labeling all of them as satanic, devil-worshipping Nazi scum. And that was probably true for some of them. I think, yeah, that was probably a pretty accurate assessment. Varg, Count Grichnackh Vikernes, has a reputation for being a racist piece of shit, Nazi, devil worshipper, murderer, church burner, so you really don't want to get caught listening to his Burzum albums. Although Dunkelheit is a great song. So that's the one that we're going to have to listen to after the episode.
Yeah.
Again, this is speculation, but Euronymous used Varg's obsession with pagan lore and Viking culture to convince him to burn the churches as revenge for the past and at the same time promote the new album. So I don't think it's very accurate to say that the Vikings have any sort of grudges to fix, or, you know, they don't have any sort of revenge to take on the church because they joined the church willingly. And that's what made the Vikings no longer a thing. If anything, it's the Christians that kind of have a
is it willingly, or did they get, they just got tricked into believing into Christianity?
I don't think it was indoctrination. I think it was them seeing that if they were to join the rest of English society, they were going to be able to make a lot more money
and live better lives.
And live better lives.
That makes sense.
So they were just like, oh yeah, fuck it. We don't care about your Christ God that you're talking about. Yeah, I'll say I'm a Christian and bang all your wives.
Yeah,
because that's what they did. They would switch to Christianity, and then they just fuck everybody's wives.
That's not so bad.
No, not so bad at all. I mean, it's bad for the guys that are getting cucked.
Yeah.
But if you're going to get cucked, might as well be from a Viking.
From a Viking, yeah. It would be an honor if Josh cucked the shit out of me.
Oh, man. I would love to be Eskimo Brothers with Josh Barnett.
Yeah.
In an interview, Varg admits to arson of a church in Bergen, Norway, and admits he did it to promote his new album. Isn't it interesting that it wasn't Euronymous, the leader of the band, that admits to the burning? That is kind of...
This is weird.
And
he's like the newest member of the band.
Yeah, that's a little strange. Long story short, this leads to a series of church burnings, another black metal murder somewhere else, etc. Norway and black metal get wild as fuck for a while, and the album is a huge success. So it seems like it was worth it.
Worked.
By January of 1993, 7 major stave churches... Stave?
I'm not sure what that means. I think it's a stave. It's a specific type of church that they were. It's either a specific type of belief that Varg really didn't like in some way, some Christian.
I've seen the pictures
like
of the churches that were burned, and they all seem to have a similar.
I should have looked into that.
Building style.
You should have fucking looked into that.
I should have looked into it. I really phoned it in on this one. They all seem to have a similar architectural style, and I'm wondering if that's maybe a specific sect of Christianity over there. It could be. That
was something that I meant to look up and didn't get around to it.
I meant to look up and I didn't get around to it. I apologize for that. Okay. By January of 1993, 7 major stave churches were burned to the ground via arson. Varg was found guilty of several of these cases. Here is a statement about the burnings from Varg himself. Mm-hmm. Quote, "I am not going to say that I burnt any churches, but let me put it this way. There was one person who started it. I was not found guilty of burning the Fantoft Stave Church, but anyway, that was what triggered the whole thing. That was the 6th of June, and everyone linked it to Satanism. What everyone overlooked was that on the 6th of June, year 793, in Lindisfarne in Britain was the site of the first known Viking raid in history, with Vikings from Hordaland, which is my country. They, meaning the Christians, desecrated our graves, our burial mounds. So it's revenge." Varg needs to do a little bit more research on that. Just a little bit, because, Lindisfarne was just a full-blown, blatant attack on a peaceful monastery where they slaughtered everyone and stole all the gold. Because they're fucking Vikings.
Yeah.
Anyway, later in his book, Vargsmall, that he wrote from prison, he writes, quote, "For each devastated graveyard, one heathen grave is avenged. For each 10 churches burnt to ashes, one heathen Hoff is avenged. For each 10 priests or Freemasons assassinated, one heathen is avenged." This is the description of his book. Varg Vikernes deals with the history and destiny of his native homeland, Norway, and appeals to his kinsmen to abandon the materialistic and anti-human modernism in favor of the ancient and heathen beliefs of their elders. So he's just a bit of a traditionalist, trying to stay in touch with his roots. He also sounds like kind of an asshole.
Yeah, he's a dick.
So good old Count Grichnackh openly embraced Nazism during the mid to late 1990s, but has since then decided it's a bullshit ideology. He'll just jump on any fucking bandwagon out there, won't he?
I think that was his thing when he was a kid. Like, I think that quote is when he was like 19. So like he's just influenced by anything radical or exciting or new. He even says later that he didn't even really want to be a musician. It's just black metal was cool, so he did it and obsessed about it for a minute. And then, like now, he doesn't do music anymore, any of that shit either.
Now all he does is he
Jerk off in the woods.
wears camouflage and verbally fillets himself in the woods.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a strange guy.
But then again, I mean, who among us wasn't a Nazi when they were 19? That's a phase that we all go through. Anyway, he probably just thought Nazis looked cool because he was a dumbass kid with no internet at the time. Varg disavowed Nazism and its associated movements, although critics continue to label him as such. So, come on, man. He was a Nazi so long ago. Can't you just drop it?
I mean, he never admits that he was a Nazi. I think he was just... It's like our tattoo artist. He'll spend 16 hours talking about the Nazis, and at the end you're like, I think he loves Nazis. But just because he does, which he does, he's not a Nazi.
Well, yeah, he's not a Nazi. He's fascinated by the whole movement, like the whole ideology. Because, I mean, I'm fascinated by serial killers, but I haven't been a serial killer for years now.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
and
all
I feel like Varg has similar obsessions like our tattoo artist. It's the same thing where when he gets excited about something, he goes all in. And at the time, and also being in a famous band, it made it more in the open.
Yeah.
I mean, he also had balls, like burning down churches, although he says he never did
allegedly burning down churches.
That takes some balls to actually follow through. Mm-hmm. I would talk about, like, when I was young, I hated fucking everybody. I wanted to burn a cop car. I wanted to burn buildings down. I talked about it all the time. Never did it. Never acted on my emotions.
And that's why you're not a famous black metal musician.
Yeah, exactly. But so anyway,
I'm fascinated with Julius Caesar and the Romans. I don't think that they were good people. I wouldn't.
And I don't think
do
you're
the
going to
things
go
that they did. I'm
marching around killing people with a sword.
I'm not going to go take over France.
Yeah.
So I can't find anybody to go with me. At least not enough people.
Yeah.
Varg calls his beliefs odalism and advocates a pre-industrial European pagan society which opposes Christianity, Islam, Judaism, capitalism, socialism, and materialism. What's left outside of that?
Naked in the woods.
Naked in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then get the fuck off YouTube, you goddamn hypocrite. Anyways.
Good point.
Shit like that just fucking drives me crazy when people are obviously benefiting from these systems that they're just raging against.
Right.
It's fucking hypocritical. If you have a problem with it, don't fucking use it. Like,
right.
let's see you advance without any of that shit. And then maybe I'll think like, hey, this guy might be onto something.
Could work. But the only way for you to ever know is if he uses... It's like if you want to get a bunch of devil worshippers to join your cause instead of theirs, you got to go join theirs, become a part of their family, and then take them. So he probably hated having a YouTube channel, but was like, this is the only way I could get people to believe what I believe.
I think that he loved having a YouTube channel because it was getting him attention.
I agree with that as well.
At some point, Varg gets sick of Euronymous' shit, and vice versa. Jealousy, lies, manipulation, and a severe difference in beliefs. A rumor begins to spread that Euronymous wants to kill Varg. Multiple accounts from friends recall Euronymous mentioning wanting to kill him while at social events. Specifically, wanting to make a snuff film of Varg. Ooh, that's sexy.
Yeah, he wanted to... he told only his close friends and stuff, and he wanted to tase him, tie him to a tree, torture him to death on camera in the forest.
You think Euronymous would actually have the balls to do that, though?
Well, and that's the... I don't fucking know if he actually would do it. And this is the thing. He gets everyone else to do shit for him.
Yeah.
So maybe it wouldn't be. Maybe that's what he's saying he wants to do, and then his next victim, like Varg or like Dead, that he's easily to... He would get them to do it.
Gotten a third crony that he can influence.
I think that maybe he's too much of a pussy to do it himself, but I for sure think that over time his next Varg or Dead would get them to do it.
Yeah, that sounds very convincing.
Yeah.
While burning a church, Varg gets word of these rumors, and we all know how serious Varg takes things. He starts preparing, asking questions, obsessing. No one knows if Euronymous really had plans to murder the Count, but Varg wasn't going to wait and find out. It was probably a good fucking idea.
Yeah.
Getting caught wasn't a good idea. According to Varg, Euronymous planned to kidnap and torture and murder him using an unsigned contract as a lure to bring him in and a stolen cop taser to immobilize him. Varg was ready with a counterattack. On the 10th of August, 1993, Varg and a friend, Blackthorn, made the long trip to Oslo, arriving at Euronymous' apartment at around 3 a.m. Euronymous answered the door, some words were exchanged, and things quickly became physical. They just started kissing passionately.
They fell in love.
It started off as a fight, but then it was like
Mr.
and Mrs. Smith. It started off as a fight, and then they just start fucking.
And Varg throat fucked him to death on accident. And then didn't want to get...
What did I do?
And back then, being gay was not cool. So he was like, fuck, and just stabbed him in the back 16 times.
I stabbed him to death.
Yeah, and then...
According to Varg, Euronymous did a heavy metal kick to the chest, starting the physical conflict. Euronymous' body was found outside his apartment with 23 cut wounds, 2 to the head, 5 to the neck, and 16 to the back. After the murder, Varg drove to a nearby lake to dispose of his bloodied clothes before returning to Bergen.
Dude, there's like a full interview with Varg explaining in detail what happened. His version, it's fucking crazy. I wish we could hear Euronymous' version, but he's dead.
Yeah, kind of hard for him to talk at this point.
But it's interesting, his take on it. You're like, it's really hard to believe him. But he had there's some pretty good reasonings for things. He thought that, because they were fighting in the doorway, Euronymous turns and runs for the kitchen. So Varg thinks that he's going to the kitchen to grab a knife. So he pulls out his knife, but all he has is this little pocket knife. In Varg's version, he went there to sign the contract and say, fuck you, I don't want to work with you anymore. I'm going to start my own record label. Mm-hmm. I'm done with all this shit. You're manipulating me. So he didn't even have a weapon. The pocket knife is literally like the little shitty one you keep in your pocket, like the tiny one.
Yeah.
So this is the defense of Varg, and I'm not saying I believe this, but if you were going there to kill someone, wouldn't you bring a weapon to kill him? You know? So
I mean, that's generally a good start.
Yeah. So he apparently Euronymous runs to the restroom to take a shit. No, to the kitchen to get a knife.
Euronymous runs to the bathroom to let out a big old cum fart after their sex. Oh, God. Varg, you knocked something loose. I'll be right back.
So Varg pulls out his little pocket knife and tries to stops him, and is like swinging it at him. Right? So that's where a couple of the cuts come, apparently, or something happens there. Stops him from going to the kitchen, so Euronymous turns to go towards the bedroom, and Varg says that he knew or just remembered from the old days partying there and stuff that he kept the taser and the shotgun that blew that dead blew his head off in his bedroom.
He kept the fucking shotgun?
Yeah. So he was like, fuck, he's running to go get the shotgun to shoot me. So he was like, fuck that. And that's when he started stabbing him in the back while chasing him through the house because he believed that he was going to get a shotgun to kill him. And the only reason why he stabbed him in the first place in the beginning was because he believed he was running to the kitchen to get a knife.
If Euronymous was planning on killing Varg as soon as he showed up, why would he not just answer the door with the taser and a knife? Or he had a fucking shotgun. Why not just open the door and blow his head off?
Yeah.
Or take him prisoner.
It was 3 a.m. and he was in his underwear. So I think he was just half asleep and didn't know.
Well, that's usually the state that I'm in when I commit a murder.
Yeah. I think he didn't know he was showing up.
Murder.
Yeah.
Oh, so did Varg show up without any...
Well, there's multiple versions of that. Apparently, Varg's version, I think, I'm getting this mixed up, but there was a contract that needed to be signed. So Varg was going to, and Euronymous was like, hey, come sign this contract, and we'll move on with this shit. Varg was like, oh, this is the moment where he's going to try to do something. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to go. I'm not going inside. I'm just going to pass the paper, sign it, and get the fuck out of there.
You know what I think? I think I know exactly where Euronymous was running. Euronymous was running to his bedroom because he had a ghost bed.
Oh, I forgot about the ads. Euronymous died at 25 years old on a ghost bed in his sleep.
Well, if you're going to die at any bed, I'd prefer it be a ghost bed.
Yeah.
I am absolutely in love with my ghost bed. Like, I would do the show from the ghost bed if I could.
We should do one from it.
The Iconoblast podcast is presented by ghostbed.com/Drinkin' Bros. Ghostbed has been a loyal sponsor of the Drinkin' Bros for over 69 months now, and everyone here in the studio is in love with their mattresses and pillows. And I've got those cooling pillows too. They fucking work.
Yeah,
they work really
awesome.
well. Ghostbed makes their high-quality mattresses right here in the good old USA, and each mattress comes with a 20-year warranty. You can try a Ghostbed mattress for 101 nights, and if you're not completely satisfied, you can return it, no questions asked, because they're not going to argue with an idiot. If you're not satisfied with a Ghostbed after 101 nights, you are an idiot. Their mattresses and pillows have cooling technology to help keep you cool at night. You can buy a mattress for around $35 per month, and they have no money down, 0% financing plans. Ghostbed also offers bundles so you can get everything you need in one convenient package. Just choose from their 4 mattresses and then pick your bundle. I highly recommend the king-size mattress. That's the one that I have, and it fits me and my 2 dogs without me waking up sore because they're sleeping on top of me.
Nice.
So whether you just need a mattress and a frame or you want it all, like their cooling pillows and sheets, you can always get the best bang for your buck. Right now, Ghostbed is offering a flash sale where you can get 40% off when you buy a mattress and adjustable base, or 30% off of everything when you use the promo code Drinkin' Bros. That adjustable base is so fucking cool too. Vibrates. You can incline the top and the feet. It's got like presets on the remote where if you want to read a book, you just hit the book button and it like raises your legs up and raises your back up.
So if you get stabbed in the stomach like 20 times and you can't sit up anymore because your stomach muscles are destroyed, you can use the adjustable base.
No, there's a button on there that has an image of a knife on it. It's all they thought of everything with these beds.
You push that button and it shoots you out of the bed so you don't get blood on
It
it.
launches you out of the bed. No, that's why you get the mattress covers. It doesn't matter if you get blood on it.
Nice.
Blood comes off of the mattress covers very easily from my experience. Head over to ghostbed.com/Drinkin' Bros and take advantage of all their awesome deals. Again, that's ghostbed.com/Drinkin' Bros. Ghostbed. Sleep so good, it's scary. I do love that fucking bed. So Varg was arrested in Bergen, and they found 150 kilograms of explosives and 3,000 rounds of ammunition in his home. 150 fucking kilograms of explosives? Where do you even get that?
I think he collected over time.
Well, I mean, he's not buying it from Costco, that's for sure. Varg went to trial on May 2nd, 1994, and was sentenced
so
to...
the last thing, so Varg says that he stabs him that's not what killed him, the 16 in the back. That slowed him down, and then he knocked him on the ground. The guy that drove him, Blackthorn, is like, what the fuck? Leaves, runs out. Varg is like, fuck him, and then realizes, oh shit, he has the keys. At this point, to the car that they drove there.
Yeah.
It's like an 8-hour drive. So he's like, oh fuck. And then at that moment, Euronymous gets up and he says, attacks him again, comes at him. So he was like, I just got to end this, and just stabbed him twice directly in the forehead to kill him. And he said he died instantly. And it was because of the guy leaving with the keys, or he was like, oh, I guess I just have to kill him then. And then killed him.
I'm not walking home. I got to kill this guy.
Yeah, and then ran out, and then was like, calm the guy down, and then they drove back together.
So the knife that he was using was like 3 inches long.
Yeah, it's a little pocket knife. That's the part that makes
the front of the forehead is the thickest part of the skull.
Yeah.
And not only that, they used to do lobotomies on people where you're literally stabbing somebody in the frontal lobe with like an ice pick.
It won't go through?
No, they go up in under the what is it, the zygomatic arch, or I don't know, up in the ocular cavity. They like go
Like this.
above your eyeball,
Yeah.
but like in your eye socket and then up, and then they just kind of scramble the front. But yeah, 2 stabs to the.
There's 2 stabs
head.
to the head, and that's what killed him.
To the front, I feel like that's
Maybe-
not going to be instantly fatal.
Maybe it wasn't, but he said it was enough to put him down, and then he left.
Oh, okay. Because I would imagine that he died from blood loss.
Probably. They were all small cuts.
Well, death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah.
I think they call it Ling Chi. Have you ever seen pictures of that? Mm-mm. I'm pretty sure it's called Ling Chi.
Ling Chi. Isn't that that's like a fighter chick from Street Fighter?
So that's Chun-Li, but yes, a woman will kill you slowly through 1,000 cuts. Ling Chi, translated variously as the slow process, the lingering death, or slow slicing, and also known as death by 1,000 cuts, was a form of torture and execution used in China from roughly 900 CE up until the practice ended around the early 1900s.
That's like the scene in Polar when he's tied up and he's slowly cutting him over and over and over with the X-Acto knife.
Yeah, what they would do is they would tie you to a post, and then, here's a... tie you to a post and just start hacking off pieces of skin.
Ay.
Yeah, that's a jacked up picture. There's a surprising amount of pictures of Ling Chi being carried out, and none of them are pretty.
So yeah, if you want to have a good time, Google Ling Chi. How do you spell that?
Lingchi, all one word.
Oh, Ling Chi.
Oh yeah, fuck. It's been a long time since I've looked at those pictures. Oh yeah, we should drink for that. That's Japanese, not Chinese.
How does Chinese go?
Closer, drink.
Drink.
So Varg went to trial on May 2nd, 1994, and was sentenced to 21 years imprisonment, the maximum sentence in Norway. He was found guilty of murdering Euronymous and the arson of 4 churches. In a black metal as fuck display, Varg smiled at the moment of his his verdict was read, an image you can still find today. His friend Blackthorn was sentenced to 8 years.
Yeah, if you look up that image, it's crazy, dude. He looks like he's 14 years old. Yeah, to search Varg smiles in courtroom would come right up. There's a video of it too, which is gnarly, but he's just so happy about it.
Is it this one?
That's the one. There he is. Look at him.
Yeah, he does look young. I couldn't grow a beard like that when I was 14. I still can't grow a beard like that. Yeah, it's funny now. Nowadays, he looks like the comedian Billy Connolly.
I don't know who that is.
Because this is a more recent picture of him.
Yeah, there he is now.
Now, here, let me show you a picture of Billy Connolly. Well, you know Billy Connolly because he's the dad from Boondock Saints.
I don't remember. I only watched half of that and I fell asleep.
The first Boondock Saints movie?
Yeah.
Hell.
I never saw it when it came out. I saw
how
it recently
dare
and
you.
fell asleep. Oh, that dude. Yeah, I've seen him in some things, I think. He looks like Socrates from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh, yeah, he does. So while in prison, Varg said, quote, "It's much too nice here. It's not hell at all. In this country, prisoners get a bed, toilet, and shower. It's completely ridiculous. I asked the police to throw me in a real dungeon and also encourage them to use violence." Holy shit.
Yeah. You've seen the Swedish fucking...
Yeah, we looked at
Jails.
those on one of the episodes of the Jack
Sesh,
Sesh, and yeah, they're nicer than where I live. It's probably less cockroaches too. Well, actually, it's not the cockroaches that are the problem. It's the dude. My apartment is surrounded by jumping spiders. Like, it's got to the point where when I walk through my front entryway when I'm outside of my apartment, like walking up to my door, I've just gotten used to feeling something like hit
Jump
my
on
arm
you?
or hit my leg, and
It's
I'll
not
look
fleas?
down. No, big fucking jumping spiders.
Shit. Well, at least they're not dangerous.
No, and they also take care of the the other
All kinds of other
bugs that are around there. That's why there's so many jumping spiders.
Did you know that there's no poisonous jumping spider?
Well, there's no poisonous spider at all. There's venomous spiders.
That's what I meant.
Is venomous what you meant, Joel? Sorry.
Oh,
That's
excuse
such
me.
a fucking pedantic thing to do. But yeah, the difference between poisonous and venomous is poisonous means that like you ingest it, and venomous means it injects.
And it stabs you.
So snakes are venomous. They're not poisonous. Mushrooms are poisonous. Sometimes. Frogs are poisonous. So to this day, Varg still denies the church burnings and says the murder was in self-defense. Varg was released from prison 15 years later. He now lives in the forest with a wife and a kid. They all speak fluent Orcish and wear chainmail during dinner. And that is the end of the story of Count Grichnackh.
Fucking guy.
The only person that I think doesn't... Well... Okay, so what was the bassist's name?
Butcher.
Necro Butcher. He seems like
Only normal guy.
Like a good guy.
I was watching interviews with him.
Death seems like a victim, like a victim of circumstance.
Yeah.
And his upbringing, just a tortured soul, but not really a bad person. Mutilating animals.
Weird.
Yeah, it's...
Could have led to becoming a murderer.
Yeah, but it seemed like he was more obsessed with his own death than other people's deaths.
Yeah, I never read anything ever where he was rude or violent to anyone.
Because that's kind of what he was known for, is being like very soft-spoken and kind of a sweet, tortured soul.
Yeah. There's videos of him you can find where he's like, and you can just... you could tell the way someone's walking, what they are, sort of. Like, you can judge. You shouldn't judge anyone. But
well, yeah, if you see someone sashaying around, you can be pretty sure that they're like taking it up the old poop chute every now and then.
Yeah. I think he was a sweet boy with severe depression.
That's honestly what it sounds like.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem
And
like he was...
He got the wrong friends.
He was...
Or the right, depending on how you look at it.
If his goal was to become a black metal legend and then blow his brains out and have a picture of him with his brains blown out put on the cover of an album, then yeah, he followed the right path.
Yeah, short life, which sucks, but
yeah, he was only what, like 18 or
something young,
when he killed
20?
himself.
Yeah, I don't remember.
The good die young.
Yeah,
and also the suicidal die young.
Yeah, and that's it's what's crazy is if Euronymous is to blame for it all. He did the same to Dead that he did to Varg. Varg was 5 years younger, and at the time, Euronymous was like 25, 23 or something. So Varg is another teenager.
And Euronymous was already influential at that point.
Yeah,
right?
that was after they hired... he signed Burzum and then asked him to be in the band, which for Varg at the time, he'll never admit it now.
But it was
probably like what? Because Mayhem was like the biggest thing ever.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You want me to be in your band?
Yeah, and he played bass for him.
Oh yeah, nobody cares.
And that's not even... Yeah, and he didn't even play... Player. He did all the instruments for his albums himself, So he was just took whatever position he could get.
Yeah, it sounds to me like...
Oh, before I forget, the Necro Butcher thing. Necro Butcher has, in multiple interviews now... He's an old man, and he's not worried about anything. He said that he was planning to kill Euronymous.
Holy shit.
Yeah. He was like, everyone fucking hated him. Once you got to know him, you realize he was full of shit. Everyone hated him. He's like, I was literally planning to kill him myself. I don't know if I'd have the balls to actually do it, but I would literally plan killing him and think of how to do it. And I'm just lucky that Varg did it first.
He sounds like he was a full-blown sociopath.
Yeah.
Like, he was completely... he was solely looking out for himself in all of this. Like, whatever he could do to elevate his status was for sure what he was going to do. Whatever would make him, the penultimate cunt lord out of all the black metal lords, that's what he was going to do. Yeah.
And I don't know if this is true or not either, but in a later interview with Varg, he said that in the beginning... his label, Euronymous' label, was going down. It was bullshit, and it was the Burzum albums that saved it. he said that Euronymous' label was doing so poorly that even though he had the label, Varg had to pay for his own album to be released through the label, and it was supposed to be paid back.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
What's the point of even being on a label?
Yeah, it was big. It was. I think it was purely just because of who he was.
Jesus.
You know, and then the albums sold and did well, and he said that it was so bad that other bands that were supposed to be on the label would mail their records in to the store or to sell in the store, and he didn't have a car, and he was too lazy to take the bus or walk to the post office to get the albums, the records, and put them in his store. So Varg would go there, and he lived 6 hours away or whatever, would drive to the store, pick up Euronymous, take him to the post office, help him stock the shelves, and everything was unorganized, a mess. He never paid fucking anyone for anything, and didn't even know what to pay people. Just he was using all the money on himself. Shit. I mean, this is Varg's version, of course.
Yeah, I don't know how much I trust Varg overall. Well, I mean, I do know how much I trust Varg, which is not much, but that sounds a lot like shit that Euronymous would do.
Yeah, and trying to defend Euronymous is really hard, because basically everyone will either, he was cool, but most people are like, he's a piece of shit. You know, I couldn't find one person that was like, dude, he helped me with my band. He showed up. He gave me money up front. Like, there was not one good thing to say about him.
He was just using everybody around him.
Yeah.
Cunt Lord is a really, really good name for him.
Yeah.
But that is also going to be our number 2 hit single from Aquatic Cloaca. So that's it for this episode of the Iconoblast podcast. Not sure what the topic is going to be next week. That's usually the case. I'll find something out. We've actually got a couple listener episodes in the bank.
Nice.
So maybe we'll do one of those. There's a few topics that I've kind of been excited about. So maybe we'll cover one of those. Who knows? It's a crapshoot at this point. Yeah. If you heard the drill in the background, that's the ongoing construction here at the new studio, which...
We're sorry for no video this time. If I have time, I'll put stills up and everything. We'll still upload on YouTube.
Yeah. This will...
Worst case, it'll just be that spinning galaxy again.
But yeah, join us on Monday nights, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time for our premieres on YouTube. Go to the Drinkin' Bros History channel on YouTube. You can follow us on
iTunes, leave reviews.
Oh yeah, we need to go through and like put together a list of all the best reviews and read them on the show, because we get some really fucking good reviews.
Yeah, so if you we'll read your review on the show if you go on Apple Podcasts and leave a banger.
If it's a banger, and it's got to be 5 stars. We don't accept anything less than 5 stars.
If it's not 5 stars, then we're fucking done.
You can go fuck yourself. You can follow us on Instagram at Iconoblast Podcast. You can follow me at Coop Nukem. You can follow Joel at Joel R. Benner. And we will see everyone next week. My name is Matt Cooper.
I'm Joel Benner.
And we're reminding you to never take anything at face value.
Bye.
Euronymous was a cunt lord.
Fucking cunt lord, bitch.
nightfall, she closed the world, and penetrating darkness, a shimmer rises in the soil, and contaminates the air. To close the world and penetrating darkness, the chill rises from the soil, like a summer's air, suddenly light at noon.